Energy Committee for June the 17th, 2021. And we have Magistrate J.W. Blackburn and myself, Judge Wells, here. Let's start with the next item. Judge Barton, if you would, or Ryan, let's review facilities and energy conservation measures, ECMs, if you would.
Sure. In the interest of time, I'll just turn it over to Ryan Minor. He'll be in control. That's okay. And I'll make sure to get everyone documented on who's on the actual call. Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. So I've got pulled up the ECM matrix. That's usually our first item of discussion. I've got highlighted the activities that have been completed. So you can see we got a good portion of it done, with the lighting. Domestic hot water tanks still have a decent amount of work left with the remainder of the scope, but we are making pretty good progress on it. And also note, I sent the documents that I'm presenting today via our share file site. I was hoping everyone was able to access if needed, or if they had any issues with accessing those files, let me know. I have to go that route just due to the file size with the photos. So I sent it to, I believe, Judge Wells, Tambra, Jailer Bonta, JW, and along with Scotty. So I was hoping they all did have the ability to access. Any questions on the ECM matrix?
Hey, Ryan, you said that credentials would, in that email that would be sent to us so we could log in and look at this file. I never got those.
Okay.
I'm not aware that I did.
Okay. It wouldn't come from me directly. Like I said, it came from our share file site. So it's kind of a unique email. Sometimes it gets caught in spam filters.
I got you.
I know Jailer Bonta, he did receive because were you able to access?
Yes, I thanked him for my another password I had to remember.
Is there a better?
You screen share it, Ryan? Can you show us
as far as what the email would look like?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Because I think mine went to the spam too.
I also had the wrong emails originally. I think I had the old just Franklin County emails, not the Franklin.Kentucky, but I did get those corrected on the second round. Let's see. This is an email I sent out that showed, I don't know if I can zoom in on that, kind of what the email would look like in a screenshot.
Okay.
That it came from a moveit.energy systems group.
EnergySystemsGroup.com.
Yes. Yeah. So that's where it would come from. If you guys didn't see that or don't see that, let me know. I can try to resend that.
Ryan, it came in at Monday at 9:17 p.m.
Yes, it was later on Monday by the time I got to it. Yes. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, this one, I knew there's an issue with it. It said you will you will need to provide these credentials will be provided to you either by the original sender to log in.
Yeah, there should have been 2 emails that came through. You all may have gotten them caught in your full, we probably should have sent one from us telling you to expect it, and then you could look forward to your spam folder.
That's what that email was, Teresa. That was the email kind of showing them what it would say. I didn't put a password protect on it that I know of. I think you can just click the link and it should take you to those files. It may have a temporary, like Jake said.
Yeah, mine was a temporary.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys don't see that email from the movie, let me know. In fact, I'll just resend after this meeting.
And I think that would be better.
Yeah.
Because I've got it in it and I'm not getting in it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll resend that. Again, this is it's just the documents we discussed here. So we can we'll hit them all. Again, any questions on the ECM matrix?
We just have that on there really for a refresher. If someone wants to look at something or dig into a measure. I think
Yeah.
everyone's seen that enough. They're probably tired of it, but I didn't want to take it off.
Well, not really. We're tired of it. I just, are you going to give us an update on the plumbing, HVAC and all that? You're going to go through that? I believe that
Correct.
was on your agenda, wasn't it?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, we'll kind of jump. We'll go to the next item, which is progress update. That's when I'll do the photos. Let me get those pulled up here. So this is I tried to do the before and afters. I know the group likes those. So this is air handler 8. It's the makeup unit there at the jail. This is the original unit, and this is the new unit as it's being installed. So again, sits on the same equipment pad. Contractor did a good job of making sure it all fits. And this is the chilled water lines, or sorry, hot water for this unit in particular for the makeup air there at the jail. Just kind of giving you an idea of the work that's going on. This is the unit that's up in the penthouse.
Did they put insulation on those lines, Ryan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, do these UV lights, do they go on after it goes through the filtration system or
I don't have the
supply
exact
side?
spot. Right. The idea, if I recall, it should be closer to the coil in order to keep that coil clean. So if that's the case, it would be on the leaving side of the filter. But yeah,
Okay.
once we get those installed, once we get these units set, we only have one more left to set. So once those get set, we'll get those UVs installed.
So post filter and pre coil.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
This is air handler 5. Again, this is the before of the existing unit. This was a photo once they got it taken out. And then this is the new unit as it's being installed. So that one's got a tighter space to fit in just with the ductwork transitions. But again, doing a good job of getting it all in there. And this is a before of the piping leading to air handler 5. And this is the after. So Squire Blackburn, as you can see, we've got insulation on those lines.
Looks great. You know, the funny part, Ryan, is the before pictures were state of the art when they were put in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a return fan on, if I'm looking at that correctly, air handler 2, which is down in the mechanical basement there at the jail. Those are inline fans. So it's a nice clean install. You can see the transition ducts they had to make in order for that all to work, but everything's running smoothly on those. These are the hot water pumps. This is before the red pumps there on the floor. Those are the new ones that will go in, actually are installed. But this was a before, kind of a during. You can see they took a couple spool pieces out, set that pump and motor, and then we've got the new one installed. And as you'll note, there's the existing insulation there that we'll tie back into and finish those, getting them cleaned up. And again, this is the hot water. We still have the chilled water pumps to do. Very similar setup and situation for those. What you can see, those kind of drives, these are the variable VFDs, variable frequency drives there in between those pumps that are used to control those on that unistrut stand.
Ryan, are those new systems in operation, or are they still, they are in operation?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So as we're going through, what we did, we had the controls contractor. They did a good job of getting ahead of the game. They got all the wires ran. Anything they could get set ahead of time, they did. So as we're getting these new pieces of equipment in, they're getting them tied in and actually up onto the front end graphics. Wes he's got access to those and is able to see, as they bring units online, he can see those live. So this is a picture of the boilers, or one of the boilers. This is the existing unit. They just set the new ones this week. Last week. They're getting them tied in this week. This is one of the new boilers, so you can see quite a bit of difference on size on those. Much more compact, but sitting in the same footprint. And then we'll have a third condensing boiler that'll go in the spot of the old generator once that gets removed.
Ryan, those are all tied in now also.
Great. Yeah. I talked to Sean with our mechanical contractor. He said he was getting close. In fact, obviously, like Wes said, they're tied in, so that's great. This is a picture of where the generator will go. This is there on that north side of the jail. So getting prepped for that pad. And I've also got a photo of the trench. This is for all the electrical conduit running to and from that new generator to the building. So what we've got is we'll get that inspected. That's what we're waiting on right now, to get the electrical conduit inspected. Once that's clear, he'll be able to backfill, and also will form and pour the pad for the generator once that inspection is complete, which should be inspected tomorrow. We're looking at hopefully getting that pad poured Wednesday next week, weather pending. Once that trench is backfilled, we'll dig for the gas pipe because the ground's a little, that road was falling apart back there. We wanted to make sure we got it backfilled prior to digging another trench right next to it. So that's our next task. And then I'll get an update on deliveries for that generator once we go over the schedule. Here's a photo. You can this is a good illustration of a before and after. The penthouse up there on the top, that is the finished product with the flashing around that top edge. The lower section of the main roof where you still see the white, that's the roofing material that again gets covered up with that flashing.
It's done.
Flashing.
Ryan, it's done in the front.
Good deal. Yeah, this is a photo from last week.
Yeah, all but the front porch is done. I went out there and looked at it a little bit ago. It looks really good.
Yep. Yeah, it does look really nice. And yes, as you mentioned, that front porch still needs to be done. That's got that drain there that we're needing to get installed prior to finishing that roof. So that's all I have for photos. Any questions on those, or need to back up?
So once you get all the that trim cap on top of that parapet wall, will you be able to start the EFS?
The thing holding up the EFS is there's a roof drain. I'm sure you probably can't see my mouse. Let me see if I can get a little spotlight. Let's see here. I don't know if you can see that where I circled.
Yes, sir.
There is a roof drain up there that is currently at the existing level of the roof. We've got to build it up with insulation. So we've got to raise that drain. We've got to put a drain insert in, and we've got to cut some of that block out. And there's some EFS over there. So I was waiting for that to be installed to make sure we get it all captured in one shot. So
You're also going to have some EFS repair when you put the outside doors in, right?
Well, yeah, there's potential there. So that process is they're going to cut those out. So hopefully, we can keep it nice and clean. They'll cut out the old frames and then slide in. Obviously, that's ideal situation. Reality is there'll probably be some, nicks and scrapes that we need to get taken care of as well. So. Anything else on photos?
Jake, let me ask you a question. How's the system working or can you tell that the system's working well? The new system.
I can tell in our office, it's really cool, but I'll let Wes is on here. Wes has access to the new system. I'll let him answer that.
Okay.
Actually, the reason why it's so cool in the jailer's office right now is because they've not tackled air handler 7. It's pretty big. It's the biggest unit up here. So when they get that one done, I can actually go in and see what air temperature is coming out. I can see what the return temperature is. And I can adjust everything from right here at the computer. So it's been very, very wonderful.
So you're seeing a difference.
Oh yeah, and I was back in the pods today working on some doors, and you can tell a big difference in how just comfortable the air is now compared to what it was.
Wes, if you needed to make an adjustment and you can do that on digitally, how long does it take compared to it used to take?
Oh, it switches it over automatically. But what's great about it now is I can see actually what the temperature is, to where before all it was a knob that I had to turn to decrease or increase airflow, and you had to wait and see how long it took to cool back down, or if I had to adjust it a little bit more. This right here, I can actually see what the temperature is.
Yeah, there's a lot more information with this system. You can see damper positions, chilled water valve position, and then like Wes was saying, he can see temperatures, leaving temperature, return temperature, mixed air temperature. So just a lot of information there that is useful for someone like Wes to make it comfortable for everyone. So hopefully he's enjoying it. Sounds like he is so far. Like you said, once we get air handler 7, that would be the last of the air handlers. And then we've got those VAV boxes as well to get on, which will be more additional information.
Yes, Judge, right now I'm loving this new system. So I appreciate all the hard work you guys have put into making sure this is going on. So
Good deal.
All right.
Go ahead.
I'll jump into schedule. I'll get the schedule pulled up here. Let me zoom in a little bit, make sure it's legible. So we are shrinking the schedule a little bit. I have added a item or two here. So I'll start with the plumbing upgrades. I put in a line item for valve installation. So we've got valves we need to put in per scope in order to isolate sections of the building. So we are working on procuring those valves right now, and then getting a schedule to get those installed and swapped out. Something else we've got for item, I believe it's next on the list, is some additional valves that would be beneficial for the jail to get installed. So we'll discuss that as well. But once these valves get installed, then we'll be able to get the water conservation work started and completed. That's actually changing out, fixtures, getting the water controls on it. So got a little bit of work to do ahead of that, which we are pushing for. So that's shifted out some, especially when we were looking at an April start, if I recall previously. But yeah, now we're looking into a July. But overall time frame for the schedule, no major impacts. Roof replacement. Again, that's an item. It's kind of drug out a little bit, especially longer than my liking. We've had some weather and also some material issues, especially with this roof drain. But they are, I've got them on board. We'll be back Monday, Tuesday next week, and resume the men's pod, which is remaining. So we'll get the men's pod complete and also get that front entrance complete. Then we've got metal work, obviously, to finish up. And then we've got the skylights as well. So we're looking at, last part into July for sure to have that work completed. Once they get all their material out of that little courtyard, they'll do grounds repairs as well. Working earlier in the year, it was pretty wet. So we've tore it up pretty good, but we'll definitely get it repaired. The generator, just got an update on that procurement. It's still shipping here next week. Should have by June 30th, so the end of the month. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we've got that equipment pad we are getting prepped and poured. We get that poured Wednesday. We'll be in good shape to have it time to cure, and then set that generator on there. Once that's set, there's some work to do ahead of time before we do an outage. But we'll definitely coordinate that. We'll have a temp generator out there to support the facility while we do a quick swap over with existing utilities. So again, we'll coordinate that. Looking at a like I said, end of June to have that device or that a piece of equipment, and then the 25 kilowatt generator, which goes for the food storage building. Again, that'll be delivered at the same time. That's a much smaller unit, and will be a quick transition there.
Where is that? Is that going to be placed on the outside next to the other generator?
The small 25, that will be up by the, we call it the food storage prep building. So it'll be up by that maintenance building, kind of in between, right in the middle of that structure on the backside, close to the honors dorm.
Okay.
Judge, we'd like to schedule something. Ryan's going to coordinate it based on everyone's schedule, but I know Squire Blackburn we talked a little bit about laying some eyes on things. So we were thinking once the generator, most of the roof, the doors. So we're looking at sometime maybe July, Ryan, would that be correct?
Yeah.
We'd like to just have the energy committee, especially the elected officials, primarily, or anyone who wants to come for that matter, that's appropriate based on Jay Levanta's schedule. But we'd like to at least get everyone out there, lay eyes on some things so you could at least be familiar with your own eyes about what's been done. You just sort of give you an overview of the work. Unless you want to wait till the very end, we just thought maybe during that time, it might be good to see some things going on and just get a better feel for what's happened out there.
That'll be great. We'll, once we get close to that time, we'll work, let Tamara know, and we'll start working on a time. I think the whole corp would like to see it. So it'll be kind of a walking tour of the progress.
Okay, if you'd rather, if you want to do the whole court, I don't know if you'd rather wait till the end. I just thought you guys have been part of, sort of making the sausage, so to speak, that you would have a better feel. But if you want, we'll do whatever you prefer, of course. But if you want to wait till you have the final product, we can do it toward the end. But that's entirely up to you.
Well, we'll talk. We'll see.
Absolutely.
Definitely at least the committee up there.
Sure. Okay, we'll confirm schedules here in a few weeks once Ryan is a little more sure about what's coming in. I know there's a little bit of risk in saying something will actually be here, considering where a lot of things are in this order system right now with the delays.
We understand.
Okay, thank you.
All right, HVAC upgrades. As I mentioned, we've got, and Wes talked about as well, Air Handler 7. That's the large air handler that serves the front part there of the regional jail. That's the only air handler we have left. They're variable air volume boxes, VAVs, what we call them, that branch off of that piece of equipment as well that we're replacing. So once those items are done, that work will be completed. We're looking at doing Air Handler 7 next week, and then we're currently working on the VAVs. We were waiting on a return fan for Air Handler 7. The way it's situated in there, you have to have the old unit out, take the return fan out, and then get the new one set before you can, set the new air handler. So we've had a little bit of coordination, which has set that back a couple weeks. But again, we've been making progress with the other items there. As I mentioned on the HVAC, the controls work that's going on right on the heels of the installation. Once that equipment's in, they're getting sensors, valves, everything wired up and communicating to the front end that Wes is able to see. So that's going very well. Also, we got the UV installation. We have that at 313, 315, as well as the jail. Once that last unit's in, we'll get that scheduled so they can tackle that all in one shot. So. Doors, they had a Connex shipped last week, if I recall, set, and then their doors were supposed to have arrived this week, today, if not tomorrow. I haven't had a chance to verify that. But they should be there once they're on site. Willow Products will start their door change out. Again, I've contacted or made communications with the contractor to save at least one door for Chief Hutchinson there. so he can use it. So that is on our plate to do, but we'll get those swapped out. We'll look at doing some of those outside areas first, and then kind of roll around the rest of the building. And then the last item on the schedule is EFIS repair. Again, waiting on that roof drain. I want to make sure we get all that work done, so we know what we've got there. And then, as Jailer Bonta mentioned, potential EFIS repairs there with door replacement. So it's kind of just a placeholder on the schedule, so I don't forget it. One thing I forgot to mention, as the schedule's dwindling down, I took lighting off of there. We just have one item left, at least on my punch list, to complete. One fixture replaced there in a closet there at the jail. So that work is wrapped up. Any questions on schedule?
Nope. Sounds good. Keep going.
All right. Change order 2, that's the water isolation valves I touched on there earlier. What that is, as I mentioned, we've got valves we need to install as part of our scope. But in talking with Wes Culberson there and Jailer Bonta, there's some additional valves that would isolate some sections in the facility that would make it more convenient for maintenance, future maintenance. It's 14 valves is what we're looking at. I know we've talked with Robert, potentially using the customer contingency that's still in the budget. As you can see here, it's 9,860, and there's still 11,298 left. So that'd leave a balance. And however we want to proceed or discuss from here, I'll let someone else lead that. But here's the information. Again, as part of that packet that I'll be resending. Make sure you guys have that.
Ryan, do you mind showing them the drawing?
Yeah.
I was just saying, is that something
Are we
you're
good with
okay
that?
Are you okay with showing that? And I guess if you could call on Wes.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Sorry. You're correct. Thank you, Judge Barton.
Absolutely. I just
Everyone should check their attachments that were sent out.
And we're happy to send those individually. We've had a pretty extensive discussion with Wes and Jailer Bonta about what we proposed, obviously, was the replacement, and Ryan, please help me if I'm wrong, but the replacement of valves that are important, that had problem areas, but there are areas within the jail that it would prove to be a very, it would enhance safety and security on a variety of fronts if they could isolate particular areas. Should there be something inappropriate, should there be lots of things that might occur. And I think since we are in there, we are doing the work, there is a little money left in contingency. It was suggested that we bring this to the committee to consider if in fact we could do it at this time. I know that the folks in the field are in support of it. I hope I'm speaking on your behalf correctly, Robert. But it's a little bit confidential in the sense of, what all it can do at the jail, since that is a secure facility, and we want to be careful about what we say and how we say it, but it's still county dollars spent for something that will improve and enhance the capabilities of the jail. So I guess with that, Ryan, Wes, Robert.
Want to explain? I'm sure that you have something, you and Jake probably have talked about this.
Just a real quick note, I'm trying to send that email just of that drawing so you guys have that, so you have an idea of what we're discussing as well. I think that might help. And I've got that going to Judge Wells, Squire Blackburn, Squire Tracy, Deputy Judge Tambra. Teresa, I've copied you on it as well. Jake and Robert, I know you guys already have that.
So that's 14 new locations with labor that would have the ability to be isolated by the staff and the deputies there, correct?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Judge,
Yes.
I know we've talked, and I know I've talked to Robert and Ryan, and Wes and I have discussed we thought it was going to be like that from the get-go, but if not, while we're in it, we might as well do it and do it right. I'll let Wes explain the shut off part of it. It lets us do a lot more with water shut off, which we have to do quite a bit around here. I'm not going to get into what everything that we do to shut off the water, but it's not a terrible amount of money while we're in it. And if it comes from contingency or wherever, the legal way of it is what I'm concerned about. But I want to make sure that we get it done while we're in the middle of it.
But you recommend that this is something that you and Wes need.
Yeah, Wes, I'll let you explain a little bit more of if I'm understanding it right. The 10 valves will let us shut off sections of the jail. The extra 14 will let us shut down every section of the jail, just about.
More specific sections, yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Scar, with the question.
Squire.
He's muted.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jailer Bond, I know when we discussed this in the onset, Wes was very adamant about having control to be able to shut it off, especially if there was breakages where you wouldn't have to affect the whole jail or whole sections of the jail. And I thought this was something you guys had covered pretty well. And I think you alluded to it a second ago. You said you thought this was included, and this is just extra, right? This is just more shutoffs.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I'll kind of help maybe. So again, yes, we've got valves included. That would isolate larger sections of the facility. As you mentioned, we wouldn't have to shut down the whole building with these new valves that we're putting in. The additional valves would be to isolate some more specific sections in the pod area. What we had planned for was one valve that would shut off a couple wings rather than maybe a cell at a time, if that helps. I did just send that email with the drawing. Hopefully it comes through. Again, that might help explain at least the locations. Yeah, there's a valve, not to be too specific, but in a location we could put, which would shut off half of the men's pod. These would be up more in a convenient spot, and you could isolate again, one out of the 4 cells rather than shut down all 4 or all 8.
This is the second change order, right? That we've had. The first one was on the generator and now this one.
Correct.
Yes,
And we only have 1,400 left. So
Mhm.
hopefully this will be the last one.
Hopefully.
But I mean, obviously the more areas that you can shut down would be very helpful to you, Wes and Jake. So I don't see a problem with it. I'm kind of like everybody. I kind of thought this was part of it anyway, but so Ryan, you're saying that there were shutoffs in the new equipment, but this even allows more shutoffs in centralized or isolated areas. Is that? I think that's the way
That's correct. It allows for more granularity on the shutoffs.
Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong. The first scope had 10 in it. Now I have 24 in it, correct?
Yeah, we originally talked about 10. What we've looked at, we would have to put in, if I recall, 24 just on our end. That's part of our scope that we're doing. These additional 14, we get like a total of 37 valves. But yeah, we're putting in 24 just on our own. That would be required to isolate what we need for larger sections of the building. So.
Okay. Squire Blackburn, Are you okay with this?
Yeah, I mean, if Jailer Bonner and Wes thinks this is something they really need, I can't. I'm not going to supersede their decision because they're the experts. I just was under the assumption that they had all their cutoffs where they wanted them located before we had the contract signed. But if it needs to go forward to provide better safety and security for the jail, I'm all for it.
Okay, so the committee approves the change order.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So if I can receive this change order with the watermarks taken off, then I can get it. Which court meeting would you like it on, Judge Wells?
Well, if we can get it on the next one, that'll be fine, the 30th.
June 30th? All righty.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Robert, I can get that finalized and sent over to you this afternoon.
So for ESG purposes, well, I don't want to jump ahead, but we'll have change order number 2 and then this upcoming pay application number 7, just for the committee's knowledge.
That's
Okay,
correct.
that's fine.
Yep. So as you mentioned, pay app 7, that's our next item. I've got that pulled up. Again, I apologize for not letting you guys access that, but that was part of that package. So this is our pay app 7, as Robert mentioned. We are trying to capture as much work for this month as possible. So this is what we've got. As you can see, that column E, this period is work we've made progress on. The regional mechanical improvements there at the jail is a good chunk. That's the air handler work. So, and then controls with that. So.
But we were asked to do as much as we could with materials and equipment that, of course, is absolutely, that's been done through the end of the fiscal year, so they could go ahead and be paid for out of the old year, is what was requested of us. So we're just making sure that everything is actual and legitimate. We're not going to submit something that hasn't been done. So that's why we're making sure. We've still got a few days, I think, to get it in to the deputy judge. So I know that Ryan's working diligently on that. I believe that's next Friday at noon. Are we correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
And that leaves about 1.1 million left to finish out. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I read it? All right. That sounds good.
That includes the retainage.
Yep.
So the 1.126 does include the retainage?
Yes, that's the total contract value.
Okay, thank you. And quickly, Ryan, you and I discuss this every pay app. The difference in the values between column E and the pay amount is the retainage, correct?
That's correct. Yes. So yeah, as you can see here, this period's a 799, and like Robert mentioned, you go to this summary sheet. This 719 is slightly less. That's due to the retainage, as he mentioned. All right. Any other questions on the pay app? All right. Other business committee member comments.
Is there any other business or outstanding items and we can go through, of course, the members if they would like to say anything, add anything, or request anything. We don't have any other business to address to our knowledge, so we just wanted to make sure we let that on the agenda. Robert suggested we put that on there in case there's an action item that we need to take.
I'll yield to Jake and Wes, and then to Squire Blackburn. I have nothing.
Okay.
I'm good. Thank you all.
I'm good. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Or Blackburn, I see a thumbs up there as well. Rather than going through the roll call of comments, if there's anyone, I guess, since there are very few comments normally at the end anyway, is there anything else that anyone would like to add? I know, Mr. Copley, you'd like to come as well when we do that tour, and so you can lay eyes on things as well.
Only other thing I've got to, whenever y'all schedule the tour for whoever wants to come up, just let us know and we'll provide lunch that day.
Oh, outstanding.
We were expecting that, Jake.
Yes, sir.
I want the second slice of bologna, not the first.
All right.
I see
Well-
no comments. I don't see anyone raising hand or saying anything, so I guess that covers item 7,
Okay.
if that's okay. Next meeting we have scheduled for the 3rd Thursday again, which is July 15th, and we've stayed with a 3:45. We might want to see if that works as maybe doing a tour lunchish afterwards and maybe going to the meeting. I don't know, Ryan, if that's too soon?
Hang on a second, Judge.
Yes.
Kimberly, is that our fiscal court meeting?
Our next fiscal court meeting is Wednesday, June 30th.
No, but I'm in
It's
July.
the July
Oh,
meeting.
in July 23rd,
Okay.
which is a Friday.
It is. Well, let us see where we are, and if that date were to work out, possibly, Ryan, like I said, if that's too soon, please just tell me no.
Yeah, no, I mean, we'll have work done. We'll make progress for sure. A generator should be set. The only thing I can see not being done is the skylights potentially. They haven't got a definite word on the skylights,
Okay.
but it is projected to be done by July. So
I don't think everything has to be done. I think more than anything, just an opportunity for them to walk through the mechanical room, maybe look at the roof if anyone wants to go up, just, get it, lay eyes on the door progress, things like that. That was all I really thought would be a good opportunity for you to see it in between before the final project is completed.
All right.
Okay, well, let's hold that as a tentative, and we'll see how things go in the next week or so. And then we'll see if we can get that locked down on schedules, if that works.
Okay.
Okay,
All good.
Judge,
Yeah.
I see nothing else unless someone else, I'm scrolling through the attendees right now to see if I see anyone speak or hold up a hand. I think we're good.
All right. Thank you. Squire Blackburn, are you ready to adjourn? Is there a thumbs up? I can't see him, so.
Yes, sir.
All right.
What?
All right. Okay. If there are no other comments, thank you all. We'll see you next month and continue with the good work. We appreciate all that you're doing. So thank you very much. We are adjourned.
Right, thanks for the
Thank you,
opportunity.